Hey there. Hey there, A Manard Mitra Yah, months of the way. It's a Sit With Me Saturday, and I'm out here, I believe this is Surprise, Arizona. Anyway, Phoenix area. It's kind of like Los Angeles. There's lots of little named areas everywhere. Some not so little, but it's a really nice fountain out here. I'm out here scoping the place out to see if this is a place where people would like to come and talk. Anyway, day is MN5 that I'll be covering. Let me see. Good book, by the way. I would sit, but it's going to be framed really weird with me at the bottom. I've got to be adaptable. This is MN5, called Without Blemishes. And I'll try to speak up just a little so you can for sure hear me over the fountain. I don't know if the fountain's getting fountain noise is getting taken out or whether it's in or whatever. Without Blemishes, MN5. I'll just get into it. We'll just get started. Normally I talk for a little while about something or another. We'll go ahead and jump in. Starts as normally they start, thus I've heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living basically in Jedda's Grove. And while he was there, Sariputta talked to the monks. He said, "Friends, monks." And they said, "Friend." He said, "Friends, there's 4 kinds of persons found existing in the world." Of course, he doesn't mean there are only 4 of any type, but, 4 of this type. What 4, they say? He says, here's someone with a blemish does not understand it as it actually is. The fact that they have a blemish in themselves. Here's some person with a blemish understands it as it actually is. I have a blemish in myself. Here's some person with no blemish does not understand it as it actually is and says, I have no blemish in myself. And there's also a person with no blemish, understands it as it is actually, and says, I have no blemish in myself. You can see there's 4 distinctions he's drawing there. A person has a blemish, they don't know they have a blemish. They think they don't. A person sees they do have a blemish, they see it the way it is. A person doesn't have a blemish, and they don't see it the way it is. Even though they say, I have no blemish. And then a person sees it the way it is, and they say, I have no blemish. So, the person with a blemish who does not understand it as it actually is called inferior of those 2 with persons with a blemish. Person who understands it how it actually is called superior of the 2 persons with a blemish. The person who does not understand it as it actually is called inferior of the 2 people with no blemish. The person with no blemish who understands it as it is called superior of the 2 persons with no blemish once again. Now, another elder monk, Maha something or another, asked the other elder, Sariputta, one of the 2 right-hand men of Buddha, by the way, 2 closest assistants, and this is one of them. I want to interject here about the 2. One of them was with him personally and helped him personally and mostly didn't do talks. Spoke to other monks here and there. Didn't normally do public speaking. The other one did mostly public speaking. So it was an extension of Buddha. Buddha couldn't make it somewhere, he'd send this monk, right-hand monk, of course. And yeah, I'll leave that there. But anyway, it was important. It's for context, it should be important. Let's see. This monk asks him, he says, why? Why do you say this about these monks, that one is superior to the other in these situations? And he says, when a person with a blemish does not understand it as it actually is, it can be expected that that person will not arouse zeal, make effort, or instigate energy to abandon that blemish, and that that person will die with lust, hate, delusion, with a blemish, with their mind defiled. And he makes an example here. He's saying, suppose there was a bronze container bought from a shop or a smith or whatever, covered with dirt and stains. And the owner doesn't use it, and he didn't have it cleaned, and he puts it away in a dusty corner. Would the bronze dish continue to get more tarnished and defiled, stained later on? Yes. Yes, my friend, he says. He says, when a person with a blemish understands it as it actually is, I have a blemish in myself, that person will arouse zeal, make effort, and instigate energy to abandon that blemish. And that person will die, you would think, without lust, hate, and delusion, without blemish, with a mind that's undefiled. And he goes back to the bronze dish, the bronze container. He goes, were bought from a shop, and it was covered with dirt and stains, and the owner used it and had it cleaned and did not put it in a dusty corner. We got to ask still, would the bronze dish get cleaner and brighter after he bought it? Well, yeah, it would. That makes sense. It can be expected that that person would die with mind undefiled. When a person with no blemish does not understand it as it actually is, it can be expected that that person will give attention to the sign of what is beautiful. They'll be responsive to that. That they'll go into lust and get their mind infected, and that they'll die with lust, hate, delusion, with blemish, with mind defiled. And when a person with no blemish understands it as it actually is, a little awkward with these pages, bear with me. I kind of know the rest of it, but I still want to look at it. That person will not give attention to the sign of what is beautiful. Once again, they don't have a blemish, and they know that they don't have a blemish. They see it the way it is. They will not give attention to the sign of what's beautiful. That's a poor translation, but you get what I'm saying. They'll not be pulled into that. That by their not doing so, lust will not infect their mind, and that person will die without lust, without hate, without delusion, without blemish, and their mind undefiled. This is the cause and reason why, he says to the monk. And he elaborates, because, maybe it's not quite clear yet, and you should pay attention. We're losing the light a little bit here. It's sundown in Phoenix, Arizona, but here it is. Blemish, blemish. But what is this word blemish? What's it a word for? Blemish. Friend, he says, it's a term for the spheres of evil, unwholesome wishes. He says that a monk might wish, if I commit an offense, I hope the monks don't know that I've committed an offense. And let's see. So he's angry and bitter when the monks know that he's committed an offense. It is Then he goes into another example. If I commit an offense, I hope the monks admonish me, criticize me, or whatever in private, not in front of the whole brotherhood of monks. And if that happens, they're angry, bitter. He makes another example. He makes a good number of examples here. If I commit an offense, let a person who is my equal admonish me, criticize me, or whatever, not a person who is not my equal. And of course, they perceive that doesn't happen the way they like. Same thing. The monk might be like, oh, that the teacher might teach the truth to the monks by asking a series of questions of me, not some other monk. They don't get that once again. Oh, that the monks might enter the village for alms, for donations, putting me in the front, not some other monk. Oh, that I might get the best seat, the best water, the best food in the monastery or wherever, not the other monks. Oh, that I might give the blessing in the wherever the monks are after the meal, not some other monk. Oh, that I might teach the teachings, the truth to the monks. That I might teach the truth to the monks, the lay followers, men or women. Little sexist there. He's equating women with lowers. Visiting the monastery, not some other monk. Oh, that the monks, men and lay followers, women, lay followers might honor, respect, and revere and venerate me, not the other monk. Oh, that I might be one to get a superior robe, superior alms food, superior resting place, superior medicinal requisites, not some other monk. The fears of evil, unwholesome wishes are seen and heard to be unabandoned in the monk. Then, for all he may be honest, for all he may be a forest dweller, a frequenter of remote abodes, an alms food eater, a house-to-house seeker, a refuse rag wearer, a wearer of rough robes, still his fellows in the holy life do not honor, respect, revere, and venerate him. Well, why is that? Because the spheres of those evil and unwholesome wishes are seen and heard to be unabandoned in the venerable one. And he makes an example once again with the dish. And he says, suppose you have that dish and, you take the lid off of it, the container, and you went back to the market. And they say, oh, what's that? What's that treasure you got there? And then raising the lid and uncovering it, they look in, and as soon as they look in, they saw a dead snake or a dead person or whatever, something dead. And they're inspired with loathing and repugnance and disgust. Even people that are not hungry would not want to eat out of that dish. They'd not want to eat out of that full dish. He goes on. He makes some other examples, basically, of the same thing there. I'm trying to be speedy because I know you're losing the light here, although it's beautiful. And I'll jump to the end here just a little. He says, just as a woman or a man, young, youthful, fond of adornments, with head bathed, having received a garland of lotuses, jasmine, or roses with a circlet or something to wear on their head or around their neck, would take it with both hands and place it on their head. So too, there are clansmen who have gone forth out of faith, not dribblers, those on hearing the Venerable Sariputta's discourse on the truth, drank it in, ate it, as if it were by word and thought good indeed. It is that he makes his followers, or fellows rather, in the holy life emerge from the impulsiveness and establish themselves in what is wholesome. Thus it was that those two great beings rejoiced in each other's good words. So you got Sariputta giving a teaching there, and you've got another elder monk asking him about it to clarify. And so I want to make a point that, of course, we understand that teaching. And the thing about the dish, what is inside it. It's a beautiful dish. It's made of something nice. It could be a treasure. But what's inside it? And do we know what's inside it? It's important. So I also want to bring to this particular talk that the one monk gives the teaching, and then the other monk questions him about it. He holds him to the fire. He engages criticism. He's like, what? You explain this to me. Why does this make sense? How is this a factual thing? And, what we see in religion quite often is absolutely the opposite. Don't question me. I'm the authority. Teachings of Buddha, not such. Not such. And so I want everybody to pay attention to that. And when you see people sharing teachings, question, be a skeptic. Absolutely be a skeptic. How is this factual? How is this reasonable? Is it fact-based? What's the deal? If you're not going to have a fact-based spiritual practice, then you're going to be chaotic. You're going to be like dead grass blowing in the wind, back and forth. And you want to have some direction. You want to have a little bit of discipline. And without it, you're not going to have it. That's simple. Oh my gosh, getting dark, right? Meditation. I always share a little bit of meditation when I do these. I don't know who showed up. A couple of people. Let's see what we got. Looks like Joe and Robert. Appreciate you coming to sit with me Saturday. If you have any questions about that or about the Buddhist view on something or whatnot, you can certainly go ahead and ask. As far as meditation goes, I would say, well, okay, wind interrupted us there. I would say take a look at this fountain. The visual, the sound of the fountain, the sunset, it's fantastic. Why wouldn't a person just sit there and just look and just meditate there? Places of meditation. Fantastic. And scientifically, what we have going on here, we've got the white noise of the fountain. We also have the ions, the ionic disruption here, which has been found to be therapeutic for people. So, those that meditate like under a waterfall or next to a waterfall, we know that they're physically, factually getting a benefit from being there. And the white noise, of course, factually, scientifically tested also to be helpful for meditation, for sleep, for relaxation, a number of things. So I'm going to give that advice. Let's see if we have any questions here. I don't think we have any. Since we're losing the light, as fantastic as this is, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes before I end the live that you can enjoy this fountain, enjoy the sunset. But I'll sign out. I'll say, I appreciate you stopping by to sit with me Saturday, being with me for a while. I hope that the teaching is good for you. I hope the teachings of Buddha will bless you. And it's a great day to be alive.